Good evening, everyone. This is Rebecca with Red True Crime. Based on the title, it's Wednesday, of course. And the question is there crime out there today? As much as I would love to say that there isn't on some days, there's always something going on somewhere in the world where somebody is being victimized, unfortunately, or some story is coming across. So I just wanted to go over some things that have happened over the last couple of days. First thing I want to talk about is welcome to the Red True Crime channel. And hopefully you guys can hear me because I'm I'm assuming you can, but I don't know. But welcome to the Red True Crime channel. I am your host, Rebecca, and this is my channel. If you are new, welcome. We talk about everything that's true crime. And if you are coming back, welcome back, and thanks for the support. And if you already haven't done so, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. So let's talk about crime. I think one of the most interesting things that has been going on is, well, not so much interesting, is the Kamani Lateef case. 6 days ago, her father actually went to court and pled not guilty to a slew of charges, mostly about the kidnapping, the murder, the R word, the SA word, all these things. And it's interesting because they've made it clear that this case does qualify for the death penalty. And funny enough, the attorney that is representing Darnell Ogletree, which actually I found out, the reason why he goes by Ogletree and Jones is he was born Ogletree, but he was adopted. Oh, hi. Let's see. The one and only Nature Girl. Yes, you can get a shout out. Hi there. But why there has been so much confusion about his last name is he was born Darnell Ogletree, but he was adopted. So his official legal name is Darnell Jones. But he started going back and calling himself Darnell Ogletree when he was 19. So that's where that all comes from. And like I said, everybody, if you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Rebecca. This is Red True Crime. We talk about crime here and all sorts of crime. And if you have not done so, hello, please go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you can share, like, all that good stuff, because this helps with the algorithm and gets the information out there. So we are talking about Kamani Lateef. So if you're not familiar with that case, Kamani Lateef was a 13-year-old girl who was found murdered in an abandoned house in Toledo, Ohio, back in March. Her father has been arrested for the crime and has been charged with her murder and her dismemberment and her RAPE. It's a very, very sad case. So when this happened, Darnell Jones took off to Columbus, Ohio, and that is where the police found him. He tried to do self-deletion by cop, and they shot him. So last week was the first day he is able to go into court and face the charges that he's being charged with. So 6 days ago, he pled not guilty to everything, and people were very confused by that. And I truly, truly believe they're pleading not guilty at this point, so they can go with a mental defect case. Let's see. I'm getting some messages here. Andros Gaming, yes, hi. How you doing? Splend, hi. Please, I'm very poor person. Help me. Okay, the Sue, I'm not sure how I can help. Oh, Splend's getting a spanking. Fun times. Okay, so when they were going through his case, with the attorneys were talking, um, the attorney representing Darnell Jones is the father of one of the attorneys working in the prosecutor's office. So that was one of the first things they discussed in the court. And take it very easily. They were talking about a conflict of interest. So apparently the judge had no issue with it. Darnell Jones had no issue with them, opposing each other. So that was dealt with relatively quickly. When before they got into the pleading, they asked him if he was the judge asked him if there was any, how should I take it? Take it very easily. I'm telling you, Splin, take it easily. Um, they were going over his medical history, and he did state that he is on medication for bipolar, schizophrenia, anxiety, these type of things. And I truly believe, okay, you guys are very funny today with the happy birthdays and stuff. Anyway, I truly think down the road his defense is going to ask for a not guilty by mental defect or some sort of like that, because they're putting this information out there that he was, obviously in some type of mental distress. So I think that's where they're going to go with this. But it'll be interesting to see where they do end up going with this, because it is a death penalty case. The attorneys that are that are representing him are death penalty cases. And okay, you know, that is where we're at with that. So there's that. Let's see. Puff Daddy. So we are in day 3 of jury selection. They are whittling people down as much as they can. And from what I understand, they actually did remove some people today. So more people saying, hey, stop. Okay, why should I respond to you? You're supposed to be here listening to me. I'm responding. Thank you for the compliment and all the other comments, guys. Okay, but I'm trying to get through the information, for the channel. This is what you're supposed to, that's why you're here, right? Eye for an eye. Well, I mean, I'm boring. Oh, okay. Um, I have like 3 people. Okay. Well, sometimes I'll get 17 or sometimes I'll get 200. It just depends. Okay. So back on the Puff. So they're on day 3 of jury selection, and they went ahead and got through some more people, added a new lawyer to his defense team, and they said Puff's looking kind of rough in court. He's kind of grayed out. His hair, it's all natural. They have not been able to dye things, so interesting. Hmm. Anyway, so there is that. Let's see. Here's one that was very upsetting. Smokey Robinson is being charged with sexual assault. Like, what the heck, right? On that one. Smokey Robinson. Yeah. The Motown singer songwriter Smokey Robinson, The Miracles. Guy's like 85 years old. Now, supposedly, 4 of his housekeepers over the years have come forward and tried to, um, have pressed charges against him. And this is stuff that's gone on over the last like 15 years. So what I don't understand is, how the hell is this 85-year-old man holding down anybody to do anything? Um, but there is that. But that was confusing. Why that's happening with Smokey Robinson? That's absolutely crazy on that. Oh God, let's see what else has gone on. I had notes and I've got people distracting me. Let's see. Oh yeah, we can also talk about Austin Metcalf and the Carmelo Anthony situation. So the Dominique Alexander, the CEO spokesperson for the Carmelo Anthony family, my God, what is up with this dude? Okay, guy's got all kinds of um, felonies on him, and this family's wanting him to represent them and talk. I mean, this guy is just running his mouth, not making any sense whatsoever, and it's like, what is going on here? Like they need to get rid of him. Supposedly there is video that's about to come out, so that could answer what's going on with them. This guy is really harsh here. This SB3429 wants me to stop talking about crime and talk about stuff that's interesting. I don't know, dude. Give me a topic that's not sex related. How about that? And I can talk about it. Because this is a true crime channel. Hi, Gary. It's a true crime channel. We talk about crime. So, give me something. Yes, it does. Anyway, hello. Okay. So there is that. Did listen to the Pierce Morgan interview with Kanye West, which I'm sorry, Ye, as he's going by now. That was interesting. Um, very, very interesting. Hi, Brianna. That I've never really listened to Kanye talk. I've never watched an interview he's ever done because I really just wasn't interested into anything. I know nothing about Grand Theft Auto 6. I apologize. That was not a game I played. My late husband played. I did not play. My kids played it. I don't play. I mean, yeah, okay, Yi is a genius. I get that. Musically, I mean, I just not something that he's not an artist I ever really got into, but and I never really watched any of his interviews. And it's something, oh, thank you, Gary. But it's not, I had no idea who he really was. And I watched the interview and oh, okay, thank you. M. Hi. But but for that 2 hours, and granted, this interview is from like 2 years ago, but it came back up because he just recently re-interviewed him again. I did. I did. Like I said, I did watch what he had to say, and for 2 hours, it was interesting because it gave me great insight into who he thinks he is. Um, I mean, musical genius, yes. Creative genius, yes. I can go with that. But he's very charismatic and very charming when he wants to be. And that is something I understand now why people follow him like they do. And he's a dangerous man because he's got all the makings of a cult leader. He really does. Um, he can convince people to think whatever he wants, however he wants. So, I mean, Kanye West, I trump him up to being a cult leader. I really do. Okay, what do I think about Israel and Palestine? Hmm. I'm going to say this about Israel and Palestine. I do not know enough about their ongoing conflict, which predates all the mess that's just started, to really give a intellectual answer on that. Because I think both sides have gone too far. One side attacking the other, like, they did what they did, but the other side, I think they've done way too much. So, I think they just need to stop. Okay, well, I mean, it's SK, it's very complicated, you know, these political matters. So I try to stay out of it. Oh, goodness gracious. You guys are coming for me tonight. That's for sure. But yeah, that was an interesting conversation, and especially about him going on about Hitler. He claimed to be Jewish in this interview with Pierce Morgan, and then I watched the one he just did with him a few days ago, where they kept trying to bring up Hitler, and Ye was like, I'm out because you got my X amount of followers wrong, and he just walked and they left some other dude there, and then Pierce tried to talk to this dude, and this dude's like, I am not talking about Kanye. It was really weird. So, okay. So anyway, there's all that. But it's crazy. Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. That is a case. Back to that one. That is going to be a case that we're going to be hearing about for some time, unfortunately. And more information keeps coming out about the family, Carmelo Anthony's, about how he brought that knife to the track and he didn't know Austin, So the question is, why did he bring a knife to the track? What is the point of that? You know, I don't know. Like I said, he's a teenage boy. I don't believe race played a role in that whole thing. And I think the Metcalf family has a lot of reasons to be angry for some time. Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing though, James. Carmelo is not going to go to jail for life because in Texas, because he's a minor when he committed the offense, he will not go to jail for life. He will also not face the death penalty. So, you know, that is they already have stated. They said he will go to prison. If he did get, he'll get, but he will get parole. He won't get life without parole. Ooh, that's an interesting question. What do I think about O.J. Simpson? Do I think he did it? Ooh, I don't know. I remember when that case happened, I was in high school when he killed when his ex-wife and Ronald Goldman were killed. And I remember my senior year of high school, that trial had started and it did not finish until my first semester of college. And okay. But what on earth? You guys are asking all kinds of weird questions. But I don't know what that means, but okay. I, at the time when it was going on, and because of how the evidence laid out, how it was contaminated, and they just really didn't, forensics just did not do their job. I don't think the trial should have gone as far as it did. That's my original opinion. I messy goat, and but now that time has gone on, I do believe he had a hand in it. I don't know if he did all of it. That's my thing. I don't know if he, because they even showed that he physically couldn't even, keep up in a workout routine, a video he had shot like weeks before. So, and he's very arthritic. So I don't know. Like I said, I believe that he probably hired somebody, and I think Ron Goldman was there wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. So, am I okay? Yes. Hi, Benny. I'm okay. How do you? Ha! I like that one. That's very funny. Right, exactly, Gary. I agree. If he didn't do it, he had it done. And like I said, I agree with that. I think it's one or the other. Either he did do it or he had somebody do it for him. One of the two. No, his son couldn't have done it because his son was only, well, actually, he has an older son. I don't know. Like I said, that's going to be something we may not ever get the truth on. We think something went wrong in there. What do you mean, Benny? Can you elaborate on that? Oh, that I did not know about his son. Well, I mean, you asked me a case about a case that I haven't looked at in over 20 years. So I do a lot of research on that one. Someone asked if I thought OJ did it. I gave my opinion on that. So there. Now, someone did ask me to cover the Julian Robin Carey case. So, oh, okay. I mean, it's hi Ace. My live stream is about crime, true crime. But let me say this: OJ was definitely a womanizer. OJ was definitely a an abuser. One who had been accused and she had called about domestic violence in the home. All that is true. But is he a murderer? That's the question. Being a person who does domestic violence and being a murderer are two different things. And and again, going back to what somebody else already said in the chat, if he didn't do it, he had somebody do it. And I agree with that. I completely agree with that because it's one or the other. Either he did it or he had someone do it for him. One of the two. Because I don't see him doing his own dirty work. To be perfectly honest with you. And I don't know. Like I said, he's gone now, so we can never get the truth. Unless you want to take apart the book he wrote, said if I did it, this is how I would do it. You know, that's all I can say to that. So those of you that are new coming in, we are talking about crime, all kinds of new crime. I talked about the Kamani Lateef case about her father having gone to court and pleading not guilty to everything. And yeah, there you go. More opinions on OJ. We talked about that. We talked about Austin Metcalf and the Carmelo Anthony. Dexter Morgan. I'm not familiar with that one. Yeah, that I did know about his son, about the having mental health issues. I did know about that. Let's see. Ah, it's a TV character. Very funny. Okay. But so no, I've never watched Dexter. So I have no idea. I don't have any opinion on the TV show Dexter. But yeah, OJ, that's another one. Now, another one that's come up, and I thought about doing a deep dive on, is on the John Benet Ramsey. Now, John Benet, now that's come back up again here recently, because I know her father's been doing talk shows and whatnot. Let's see, immigration. I will say this: we are a country filled with immigrants. Simple as that. This country was founded. Hi, Karate Steve. This country was founded by immigrants. This hasn't. I mean, I guess it has something to do with crime because if you're here illegally, that is a crime. Um, I don't think it should be as hard as it is to become a citizen in this country. Yeah, I agree. He is probably burnt. OJ is probably burning in hell. But I don't believe in separating families. I do think there needs to be more streamlined process for people to be here. Oh my God. We're gonna talk about triple A Diddy. Are you talking about P Diddy? Is it a crime or legislation? Send them back together. Oh wow, you guys are really coming up with some good ones tonight. Well, here, my opinion on Puff Daddy, P Diddy, and all that. Yeah, he's guilty as hell on that one. So yeah, he needs to go away. Menendez brothers, I believe they should be set free. I think they were victims. Hi, Pain and Suffer. How you doing? Um, I do think the Menendez brothers were abused. I do think they've done their time and they should come out at this point and learn how to be part of society again. Yeah. Okay, Justin Rose, I agree with that statement. I really do. MS-13. Oh my God. I was actually working on some research on that one, and those guys are scary. I don't think P. Diddy is innocent. Let me say this. Based on the video of him beating up Cassie Ventura, he is definitely guilty of domestic assault. That there is no doubt about that. Um, the other things, the sex trafficking, the RICO stuff, I have to see the evidence on that. I can't give you an opinion of whether I think he's guilty or not. I can definitely say, based on the video from him beating up Cassie by the elevator, he's definitely guilty of that. Um, Guantanamo. That's a bad place. Lacey Peterson. I'm not sure if her husband actually did that. There's a lot of evidence showing he may not have done it. Yes, they did kill their parents. The Menendez brothers killed their parents in a real messed up way, but it's no different than Gypsy Rose Blanchard either. And that girl was being abused. My feelings on the death penalty. I'm conflicted on that. I'm Catholic, so Catholics are very against the death penalty. And I don't know. I think it depends on the case. Let's see. What's this message? Yeah, Justin, I agree with you about the baby oil. That is very damning. I agree. Let's see. Smokey Robinson. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. Well, put it this way, it's four housekeepers over the last like 20 years. It's sad, but if he is guilty of things of this type of behavior, he didn't just come out of like left field and start doing this. So it's more women will come forward if this is true. Let's see. Okay, Justin, we focus too much on punishment and not rehabilitation in this country. Not that there isn't a place for punishment, but rehabilitation, especially mental health, is lacking horribly. Yes. Um, yes, he does. White guy on Tuesdays, he does have a right to have his baby oil. All of that is true. Okay. So I'm a big believer in rehab and punishment. I like both. Oh wow. Benny, let me get back to you on that one. Um, Here's what I think. I think rapists, pedophiles, those are people I don't think can be rehabilitated. I think those are people that need to have life in prison. That's anybody else I think has a little bit some hope, but those no. Let's see. Do you think cheating on your spouse deserves a punishment to support your spouse after fact for a lifetime after divorce? Hmm, interesting. My late husband cheated on me a great deal, and I still supported him. I'm stupid. Um, oh wow, I'm so sorry I am. Okay, so your brother were they killed by somebody who was an immigrant? I'm just trying to see the connection there. Good night, white guy on Tuesdays. Yeah, cheating is a breach of contract. I mean, of a moral contract, because here's my thing. Okay, hello, Freddie. Oh, okay. And now I understand what the immigration came. All right. So my husband died 3 years ago, car accident. So for me, I'm not getting married again. It's just not happening. I don't need to do that. I don't need marriage. I can be in a committed relationship and not be married, and I'm content with that. But I think if you have any type of, I mean, cheating's not a crime, like not something you need to be like stoned or thrown in jail for, but it's definitely one for morality. I think if you're committed to someone, whether you're married to them or you're in a relationship, cheating is just something you shouldn't do. So Oh, it's okay, Justin. Logan, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm on here a few times a week, Gary. Oh God. Well, ooh. Okay, Benny. It sounds like you might have, are you having some personal issues with your relationship? Is it a moral breach of contract? Hmm, that is so sad. Oh, I'm so sorry, Benny. So I think when husbands and wives don't do what they should do to support each other, that's an issue. Yeah, and communication is key. So there's my thoughts on that. Um, I'm glad to hear that, Logan. I mean, support is important because when my husband died, I got told over the phone and at work. That was hard. That was very hard. And I guess it'll be 3 years in July that he died. I'm sorry, I gotta keep putting my glasses on. I can't read. You're saying that's just dark. Oh, okay. Well, Benny, if you're not happy, then I suggest therapy. Oh, I still work there. During the day, I am a historical document preservationist. That's what I do. Yeah, I mean, like I understand that. Have I been blessed with being able to retire yet? No, I'm too young to retire. I've got about another 20 years to go. So, um, yeah, that is true. Grief is love persisting. Yeah. But like I said, when it comes to, and then someone else brought up the death penalty in the chat here. Death penalty is something, again, it's going to be case by case. Um, I think if you murder a child and it's with malice, definitely. I feel people that are victims that lose somebody should have a chance, an eye for an eye too. Okay. Uh, but I don't know. Like I said, this. Hi, Ryan. I think the Carmelo Anthony case. I don't think that kid deserves a death penalty, but I think he does deserve to be locked up for a very long time. Oh God, coolest historical document I've ever got to see handle. Um, Let me see. Oh, George Washington's will. That was one thing. I actually had court minutes, if you could call it minutes, of from the colony of Jamestown. Yep, that was kind of cool. We have also had our hands on the plotting map for the bombs of Hiroshima. Oh, good for you, Gary. I mean, I'm probably gonna end up working to the day I die, to be perfectly honest with you, because my late husband did not leave me with a lot. He left me with more debt than anything else. Okay. Thank you, Foxy. Yep. Happy retirement to everybody. But I don't know. I mean, I kind of look at the YouTube channel, if I were to ever make any money off of this, as my retirement fund, but I have to get monetized first. So, you know, so that go back to that. Those of you who have not subscribed, please do so because that would be great. Mm, that's crazy. But I'm trying to think here. Oh, yeah, because I'm Catholic, this is not crime, but no Pope today. They black smoke. They have not decided on the next Pope, so tomorrow's another day. Be good to find out we get a new Pope soon. But let's see here. Trying to think if there's anything else I can talk about. The Kamani Lateef case, I'm so surprised that they have not charged anybody else with her case, just the guy who claims to be her father. That's so sad what happened to her. But I think that girl was in an abusive situation long before she was killed. Grandma tended to beat on her too much, and she moved around to like a lot of schools, all in the same county. So so sad, so very sad. And then you have just so many kids that are just missing. I keep getting sent like flyers and stuff on Facebook and whatnot. Okay, well, Foxy and friends, thank you for joining me tonight. Hope Diddy, reclaim the name for. Okay. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I can go with that Pope name. Pretty interesting. Um, oh goodness gracious, you guys are funny. I'm sorry, I'm cold. It is freezing in here. Woo. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can talk about. The Smokey Robinson thing really, really has me bummed out, man. Let me tell you, like I never expected to hear that Smokey Robinson was a sex fiend. Oh wow. Last time I checked, I have 504. Trying to get it to 1,000. So, oh my God, you guys are funny tonight. This has been fun. But I'm gonna hop off here because I do have to be at work very early in the morning. More documents to. Oh, 5:05. Thank you. I got one more. It's 5:04 before I hopped on here. But more subscribers, please. Subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. I try to get on here at least 3 times, sometimes 4 times a week, discuss different things. Sometimes I'm not live, sometimes I just upload videos of things. So it is what it is. Okay, Gary, I look forward to those questions. Um, but like I said, I would be glad to answer any questions you guys have, crime related. Um, all the questions about my sex life, I'd rather not answer those. So please don't ask. Somebody was doing that earlier. And I think that's all I got for tonight. So I'll be back on probably tomorrow with some more stuff. Because, like I said, this P. Diddy stuff, every day it's something new. Crazy, right? But I'm going to hop off here. Okay, thank you, Foxy and friends. I appreciate that. And as I always say, be weird, be rude, be safe, because if you're weird and rude, they won't take you. I guarantee it. And have a good night and be careful. And I will see you when I'm back on here. Bye.